And now, here are the technical presenting Pasayon, Baculanta, Tabanao, Jaculba, Abucejo, Adlawan, Palao, Paraiso, Escobido, Tapasao, and Linao.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, our topic is all about Principle of Universal Design for Learning, in short, UDL. But before we proceed to our topic, what can we learn about in this topic? Why we use Universal Design for Learning? What does UDL look like in the classroom? What are the three principles of UDL? What are the importance of UDL to teachers and learners?
Hi everyone! Did you know about Universal Design for Learning? Or also known as UDL? By the way, what is Universal Design for Learning? It is a framework developed by a CAS and understood founding partner. It is guides the design of learning experiences to proactively meet the needs to all learners. And when you use UDL, you assume that barriers to learning are designed of the environment and not in the student. UDL is based on brain science and evidence based on educational practices. It is also leverages the power of digital technology.
Why use universal design for learning? The ultimate goal of UDL is for all learners to become expert learners. Expert learners are purposeful and motivated, resourceful and knowledgeable, and strategic and goal-directed about learning. UDL is a powerful approach because from the very start of your lesson, it helps you anticipate and plan for all your learners. It can help you make sure that the greatest range of students can access and engage in learning, not just certain students. What does UDL look like in the classroom? Universal design can be found just about anywhere you look, both inside and outside your school. Universal design for learning looks different in every classroom, but there are commonalities. To start with, there's always a focus on building expert learning for all. Other common elements of UDL experience include all learners knowing the goal, intentional, flexible options for all students to use, student access to resources from the start of a lesson, students building and internalizing their own learning. In a UDL environment, students rarely do the same tasks in the same way at the same time. The flexible options will differ across developmental ages.
How can I use the three principles of UDL? UDL describes human variability based on parts of the brain that manage the why affective network, the what recognition network, and the how strategic network of learning. Now, let us watch as CAS co-founder David Rose explains why UDL emphasizes variability instead of disability.
One of the changes in version 2.0 is a greater emphasis on variability rather than disability. Both the field of disability studies and our understanding of cognitive science have suggested that a much better use of a word would be variability. It's not specifically about disability, although it includes that, but it's about how do we respond as an educational system to the variability in the students that we teach. Learners of all ages, of all nationalities, of all types are highly variable. Whether they're disabled or not depends on their interaction with the context. So variability needs to be emphasized, not disability.
CAS developed UDL guidelines that are based on three main principles that align with these learning networks. The three UDL principles are engagement, representations, and action and expression.
The engagement principle plays the K role as the extent to which the learner is engaged is vital in the learning. Engagement belongs to the affective networks of the brain. The why of the learning.
The representation principle requires the teacher to represent the topic using multiple means and methods in order for the learner to better acquire the new information. This principle belongs to the recognition network, the what of learning.
The action and expression and principle is intended to provide learners with different opportunities to express their knowledge. These principles belongs to the strategic networks, the how of learning.
This principle of universal design for learning takes into account the differences of students' manner of expression. Flexibility is provided in the way that the students show their knowledge of the subject, meaning they can choose not to perform a test and instead opt for a more adaptive expression that fits their strengths.
Now that you are already aware about the three principles of universal design of learning, I hope that you will apply this to your teaching and learning process in your teaching career.
It is important to teacher to design and deliver curriculum for an increasingly diverse students population. Each student learns different and can be benefit from having variety of learning format to choose from, flexible assessment, and tools to help with organization of new information and skills. UDL provides us with a variety of strategies and resources to help meet diverse learning needs, improve accessibility to learn opportunity, and increase student success.
Universal Design for Learning or UDL provide opportunity for all students to access the general education curriculum by reducing barriers to instruction. Learn more about how UDL offers options for how information is presented, how students respond or demonstrate their knowledge, skills, and how the students are engaged in learning.